1-844-500-4242. That is the toll-free number of the Howie Carr Show. If you'd like to join us, this hour of the Howie Carr Show is brought to you in part by General Communications. Do what I did, call General Communications to upgrade your office phone system with a ShoreTel IP system. It could save you 20% on your office phone bill every month. Call 1-800-4GENERAL. That's 1-800, the number 4-GENERAL. Or click on the General Communications banner on HowieCarrShow.com. We've been talking about the hypocrisy of the political establishment going after Donald Trump for talking about what he wanted to do to a married woman when actually they've looked the other way so many times with people who were actually doing things, whether it's Arnold Schwarzenegger, Dennis Hastert, Paul Ryan defending Dennis Hastert, Susan Collins defending Bill Clinton, et cetera, et cetera. Kathy Lee Gifford, of course, saying she won't even deal with Billy Bush anymore. Kathy Lee Gifford, widow of Frank Gifford. But anyway, we're going to switch gears a little bit here and talk about some of the new Wikileaks that are coming out. We're getting about 1,000 a day or 2,000 a day. We got 1,000 more today. And with us on the line is Joe Concha from thehill.com. He's the media reporter. Joe, are you keeping up with this deluge of Wikileaks about the media?
I'm about to run in traffic, Howie. I got to be honest with you, or just throw myself out of a moving car. I can't believe some of the stuff that I'm reading right now, particularly as it pertains to Donna Brazile,
yeah,
DNC chairwoman, formerly of CNN.
Yeah, I'll read you the headline. Donna Brazile allegedly tipped the Clinton campaign off to a town hall question. What surprises me, Joe, I did a town hall meeting for Donald Trump in New Hampshire last week. I didn't tip him off to the questions. It was his own little town hall, and I didn't. What's the point of having a town hall forum if you tip off the candidate?
None, unless you're trying to help them, collude with them, make them look better. I just look. The fact that she had in the subject header, I get questions in advance from time to time, is as incriminating as any. You can't spin that. That is a document. That is something that you can read. She's sending it to Clinton's top communications director. There is no way to explain yourself out of this. ANC needs to fire her just like they did Debbie Wasserman Schultz, and CNN needs to do an internal investigation to figure out just how the hell she's getting those questions in the first place. Jake Tapper moderated that town hall. I'm not about to besmirch Jake Tapper's credibility given all of his time in the business, but somehow producers are involved in these things. That's the first place I'd look. I'd start checking emails, and I'd figure out exactly how this happened, because this is what we know about that. God knows how many other questions were leaked via Donna Brazile to the Clinton campaign.
Well, I mean, there's so many of these. We don't even have time to get into all these leaks today. How about John Harwood? I mean, I must admit, I did set up Donald Trump last week to rip into John Harwood. Now I feel even better about doing it. Now that all this stuff has come out, he sends a message to Podesta after he tries to sandbag Trump at the debate, saying his campaign is a joke, and then he's bragging about his own smarmy behavior on live TV.
That's why I want to run in traffic right now, Howie. I mean, all these things that are being exposed, this is the media's worst nightmare. I mean, the Associated Press did a survey in April, and the results that came out were that 6%, not 60, not 16, 6% of Americans have high confidence right now in the media. That's lower than Congress. That's very hard to do. And when they hear stories like this, they say, yep, I'm not really surprised. Nothing really shocking here. John Harwood obviously was in the bag for Hillary Clinton. He obviously conducted himself horribly at that debate. And here's the thing. I want to know what CNBC is going to do about this.
He's proud of it, Joe.
Or fired.
Joe, it's one thing to say, I was drunk, or I don't know what came over me. He's bragging about it.
He doesn't run the network. I don't care if he's happy about it. Whoever runs CNBC, go all the way up to Comcast, he needs to be fired. That's it. He can't be on the air anymore. I don't care if he's happy. He should be suspended or fired right now. Donna Brazile should be suspended or fired right now. I'm sick of this. I'm not an emotional person, but I can't stand the fact that people are bragging about this, getting away with it, and they keep their jobs. That is not the way journalism is supposed to work.
How about this? Now, this is a guy from Boston, Mark Leibovich. You know him? He works for the New York Times. He used to work for he used to work for the Boston Phoenix, and he actually did a
Globe.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, he actually did a good piece when Kerry was announcing for president. A friend of mine, told him go up to the mansion in Louisburg Square on Beacon Hill and just knock on the door and see if Mama T, Teresa Hines, will let you in and ask her some questions. And it turned out to be a hilarious piece. Because she was calling. She had the big picture of John Hines, her first husband, on the wall, and she was calling him my husband and all this stuff. I mean, it was a great piece. And after all these years later, we learned that he's letting the Hillary campaign edit his quotes. This is a guy from the New York Times, all the news that's fit to print, and he's letting the New York Times edit the quotes. And he is writing, this Hillary aide says he is writing an NYT magazine piece, is sympathetic. Again, what do you want to do to him? What do you want to do to him, Joe?
What do I want to do? He shouldn't work in journalism anymore. Let's put it this way. What if Karl Rove decided to leak questions to Donald Trump or any Republican candidate? What do you think the reaction would be? There would be protests outside of Fox News right now.
Right.
I mean, Twitter would break. It was, see, that's all we've been hearing. And this better be covered more than it is right now. I'm seeing some coverage. I'm not seeing what I saw with Donald Trump's locker room comments. I didn't see anything that Donald Trump basically said, even 1/10 the coverage on this. And we better see it tonight on cable news and not just on Fox. CNN needs to address this within their own house.
They're not going to do that, Joe.
Joe, she's gone.
We're talking to Joe Concha from thehill.com. We're not going to see that on CNN tonight. You know that. Do you think we are?
I would. No.
Have they called you? Have they asked you to come on and express your concern or outrage about this? I don't think so.
No, I'll be on Hannity. No, they have their own media reporters, who I'm sure are doing all the investigating that needs to be done. Actually, they're not. They're concentrating on Billy Bush's future. That's all I see out of Brian Stelter, who's their media reporter.
Billy Bush.
Yeah, Billy Bush. That's the bigger story right now. So no, they won't. I guess I'm naive. Maybe I'm just hoping optimistic that somebody will do the right thing for once in this business. I mean, you could criticize Fox all you want, all right? But here's the thing: when the suit against Roger Ailes came out, you know what they did? They did something called an internal investigation, and they found that other women had accused him of the same thing that Gretchen Carlson did, and he was basically told to leave. All right. So at Fox, all I hear about is how evil they are. All I know is they conducted their business perfectly there. And they did the right thing. Will CNN, will the New York Times, will anybody, all these reporters, all these people being called out, CNBC particularly? No, they won't. And you could hear the resignation in my voice. I don't know what else to say, Howie.
I got a whole stack of stuff here from that we could go over. But what has jumped out at you in these latest WikiLeaks today? What outrages from the media have caught your attention?
Oh, well, there's a Business Insider story. Okay, this has nothing to do with the WikiLeaks, but the Business Insider story that fact checks the Donna Brazile comments.
Yeah,
and they talked to an unnamed Democratic source who says, "Oh no, she was just sharing that information with the Clinton campaign about how she gets topics in advance for a CNN panel." Why the hell would she do that? That doesn't follow logic.
Well, but she included a specific one that she thought was going to be tough for her to answer about the death penalty.
Death penalty. And then sure enough, so the email went out March 12th to Jennifer Palmieri, and on March 13th there. And it's not exactly a common topic, right, for a town hall, particularly this year. It's all been about immigration. There's 1,000 topics that have come up before death penalty, and sure enough, there it was. It's a smoking gun. It's done. It's over. And I can't see how the DNC can keep her on at this point. I know it's embarrassing to fire two-party chairmen in the matter of 4 months, but what else are you going to do? But right? But I guess since the Bernie Sanders people aren't screaming her down like they did Deborah Wasserman Schultz in July, maybe she gets to escape. But this is where the media has to do their job and demand that she gets fired, step down. That's it. And they got to find somebody else until another WikiLeaks dump comes and they show that person's probably colluding too. Don't are you sickened by this whole election? It's just horrible. I hate it so much, Howie. It's just everything.
Well, now that you mentioned the fact checking,
this country is being exposed.
Joe, how about the fact checking? How about you mentioned the fact checking? How about the fact checking the other night when Donald Trump said they used acid to scrub her server, and then NBC comes out and says that's false. She didn't use acid. She used bleach bits. What? That's
they put nope, false, and it give the impression like, of course she didn't do that. We're talking about the kind of acid that she used now. Are there different brands?
Right.
What the hell is going on?
I mean, who do they think they're Joe? Who do they think they're fooling? They're not fooling Hillary Clinton voters with this kind of crap. They're just embarrassing themselves, aren't they?
I think they used to fool people with that sort of thing because you couldn't communicate right away, and not everybody had a megaphone. Now Twitter and media watchdogs and reporters like me call this stuff out in a hurry, but they're still living in another world where they would get letters to their buildings saying, "Hey, I think you're wrong." Now everybody has a megaphone, and good for them. There's more policemen out there than me, thousands of them, that will call people out when they try something. As stupid as that kind of fact check. I mean, we could talk about 1,000 things. I think it could go to midnight probably.
Yeah, Boston Globe op-ed page calling. This is again, it's local, so that's why I'm enjoying it. Marjorie Pritchard, she's this old bag. She's the op-ed page editor of the Boston Globe.
That's not nice.
I know it's not nice, but what do you want me to say? It would be good. She's saying, can we get the piece?
Don't out the old bag stuff.
Can we get the?
Your argument when you I'm serious.
Let her deny it, okay? It would be good to get the piece in on Tuesday when she is in New Hampshire. That would give her big presence on Tuesday with the piece and on Wednesday with the news story. Please let me know, says the op-ed page editor of the Boston Globe, okay? Marjorie Pritchard.
Yeah. Didn't they also instruct her when to smile? And, I mean, I'm trying to catch up on all of this, to be quite honest with you. The days of spotlight are long gone for the Boston Globe, huh? When they actually did good investigative journalism without any kind of editorial. Those are the days. But now it costs money to do investigative journalism because it takes time, and everything is about clicks, and everything's about advocacy. It's no longer about journalism.
They sold their physical plant down on Morrissey Boulevard in Dorchester, and they were going to move to this tiny little office downtown. And but apparently that's even been put off. I mean, the only thing they had that was worth any value of both papers, the Worcester Telegram and the Boston Globe, was that physical plant on Morrissey Boulevard. But something has happened now, and they can't even move. I mean, that's how. Yeah, it's a pathetic situation they find themselves in. But there's no reason to go totally into the statue. I'll give you another one here, Joe. I got a whole stack of stuff. Leaked Katie Couric email to Clinton staffer. Have you seen that one? Katie said that she hoped to showcase Hillary's personality.
Well, this is the same Katie Couric that helped edit a gun documentary to make it look like gun owners didn't know how to answer a simple question, then had 10 seconds of silence, and one looks down and the other one looks into space, and oh my God, Katie has really floored us with this one. We're stunned into silence, and then thank God somebody was there to tape with their phone what the real conversation was. And they answered the question instantly. And now, good. She and the producer are being sued at the wazoo, and hopefully there's a victory there. But again, her reputation won't be hurt because as long as she's accepted where I am right now, Manhattan, Hamptons, elite parties, it doesn't matter. So
you're going to be on Sean Hannity tonight? You're going to be on with Sean?
I'll be on with Sean talking about this topic.
We'll be watching, Joe.
Hopefully I contain my emotions a little bit better.
We'll be watching, Joe. And one last thing, I suggested last week that Martha Raddatz was probably not the disinterested observer that you thought she was. Who do you think was right now? You're doing a I told you so on me.
She did a good job. You thought she did a bad job?
She got into the mix with Donald Trump. Was that her job at 10:10?
I get it. So for 90 minutes of a debate, she debated Donald Trump once, and I was on British Show last night criticizing that. She should have deferred to Clinton to say, to share that perspective. It's not her job to debate even.
Well, it isn't her job. It wasn't her job. She didn't get in Hillary Clinton's face. She got in Donald Trump's face.
I agree with you, but will you agree with me that the questions that Cooper and Raddatz asked were solid on both sides? They were tough on both sides. They didn't bring up Clinton Foundation. That's a big criticism of mine, but I thought the questions were a hell of a lot better than Lester Holtz or Elaine Gahados. Would you agree with me?
Well, they were better than Lester Holtz. I mean, that's damning with faint praise, though. I mean, he interrupted him 42 times, or he interrupted Trump 42 times, right? And the tag team only interrupted Trump 26 times. So that was an improvement right there.
Yeah, but the questions overall, though, they went after a lot of Clinton's vulnerabilities. They brought up email scandal. They brought up Obamacare and Clinton's comments. I mean, you probably sat back and were surprised at some of the questions that were being asking, and it was a good job. She debated him at one point. I agree with that. But overall,
the best question came from the other Ken when he said, affordable care is not affordable. That was the best question of the evening, I thought, for Hillary.
The audience questions were tremendous, I thought. They were great. I loved it when they said, can you say something nice about the other person?
Yeah.
That was a great way to
No,
end
that
it.
was a
And Hillary,
decent,
of course,
that was.
Couldn't say anything about Trump, had to go to the kids. Yeah, so it's good for the audience. We should do it more.
Joe, we'll
won't.
see you
But Chris
see you
Wallace will be asking
tonight.
the questions.
We'll see you tonight, and I won't be holding my breath for you to show up on CNN to attack Donna Brazile, but I'll be looking forward to seeing you tonight on Sean Hannity. Thanks. That's Joe Concha from thehill.com. Thehill.com if you want to read Joe Concha's stuff. I'm Howie Carr.
There's only one Howie Carr.